Okay, so it's June 5th, and I had my stroke on April 21st. So I think we're looking at about 6.5 weeks since it happened. And I guess that means I've had probably right around 6 weeks of rehab of various degrees. So first it was 3 weeks of acute rehab at the hospital, which was 5 days a week, about 3 hours a day. Since then, it's been outpatient rehab here at Herndon Medical Center's outpatient center, and that's been 1 to 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours a week, divided partially between the arm and leg. So when the stroke happened, so Wednesday the 21st, by that afternoon, evening, my whole entire right side was paralyzed, couldn't move anything. The next morning, I woke up to find that I had a little bit of movement in my leg. Not very much though, I was just able to move my knee or my hip a little bit. But since then, rehab has come a long, long way. And, as you can see, I'm standing, I can kind of move things. And our goal is to show some of the exercises that I'm doing now to strengthen arm and leg, muscles in planes. It should demonstrate the things I can do well as the things that I cannot do well and that I need more work on. Show how well I can walk and do various normal functional type things. And the real goal is to save this, and in a month or so, when maybe I'm feeling like I'm no longer progressing and I've not made any improvements, I can come back and watch this tape, and hopefully I can see that I'm much better then than I am today, which hopefully will boost my spirits and make me realize that all the hard work and rehab really is indeed helping. So, with the intro out of the way, let's get ready to do a couple of exercises. I think I'll start first with the leg, and I'll show you, just the different exercises I'm doing on the leg, and show you how I walk, and, we'll go from there. Alright, well, this is probably the most basic leg exercise I do. Strengthens the, I don't know what, external rotator or some shit. Anyway, it's just this. It is to keep the leg nice and straight, keep the toe and the ankle straight, and most importantly, keep the hips vertical. Right? You don't want something like this happening, that ain't right. What you really want to do is keep the hips vertical and exercise just that portion of the hip. Usually do 3 sets of 10, and I mix them up with some other leg exercises in between as well. Okay, so this exercise is kind of the opposite of the other, where the other was exercising the outside of the hip. This is exercising the inside. Of course, this is a bad leg. The idea here is to squeeze the ball, which exercises this inside muscle, but then at the same time raise the hips and try and keep everything nice and straight and stable. So kind of like this. 1, 2, 3. So the whole point is to do it nice and slow, under control, so that the muscles get the best effect. The reality is that the muscles are not weak. My leg suffered no damage whatsoever in stroke. The leg is just as strong as it ever was. The problem is that the connection between the brain and the leg is what needs to be exercised and repaired. So by doing these kinds of things, the brain reestablishes some connections, and then when it does that, the strength and the control seem to be very weak, and by continually, repeatedly exercising it, especially nice and slow and controlled, it helps bring back the strength and the control of it. Okay, that's it for this one. Okay, so here's another leg exercise. And this one's really important because this is an area where I still have a lot of trouble. Probably if you notice just that now, my right foot is pointing way out to the right, and the muscle, the rotator that controls that on the inside to keep that foot, you know, up like this, is smaller and weaker than the muscle that tends to want to pull it to the outside. So the bigger, stronger muscle is now winning. So the point of this exercise is to roll the hip and get that toe up. And of course, we do a lot of these. We do 3 sets of 10. I currently find these to be way harder than the couple of exercises I've already shown you. And that's good because it means this is where I can work. I think that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I would usually do these 3 exercises that you just saw, 10 apiece. Take a little bit of a breather, and then do another set of 10 each. And so in the end, I'm doing 3 sets of 10. Each exercise kind of, you know, mixed between the 3, not one exercise all 3 and then the other exercise all 3. One more exercise that I do quite routinely with the leg, and this one has shown great improvement over the last week or so, is basically just a curl. And yeah, in the beginning I couldn't do this without help and assistance, but now I'm pretty easily able to curl my knee all the way up. And a little extra that I've added is at the end I point my toe, which is pretty important because I've just now recently gotten some movement back in the ankle. So by pointing the toe, I try to do it each time, not always able, but by doing that I'm also exercising the ankle at the same time as I'm exercising the quadriceps there. And like I say, this is a huge improvement over the last week. You know, even up to just a week ago, I was not able to get this all the way up to 90 degrees without somebody tapping on my leg. I think you can see on that one, I was a little wobbly and out of control on the way down. It's important to try and go down nice and slow, and to try and go down nice and straight and not wobbly. Another part of this that's important, but it's hard for me because I can't see it, is to try and keep my leg straight up and down. I don't want to be in here too far. I don't want to be out here. The problem is that I really can't see it laying on my belly like this. At Rehab, they have a nice big mirror that helps, and I can concentrate on keeping it straight. At home, I kind of rely on Sylv or Frank or somebody who's here to help just indicate if I'm too far in or too far out. So, as far as working on the leg in here on the mat, that's pretty much it. As you can see, I can actually roll around on the mat quite well now, and I can also get up and down from the mat pretty easily. So quite a lot of good progress there on the leg. Let's now go into the kitchen and I'll show you some more leg exercises that I do standing up, and I do them in the kitchen just so I have a counter to hold on to or grab onto if I should happen to get a little wobbly, lose my balance.